Hey everyone, this is Adam Kelly. This video is part of the Unity coin collecting platformer series. If you haven't been following along, you can find a link to the playlist in the description. Otherwise, open up your project and we will jump back in. All right, next we're going to start working on our coin collecting task. And just to keep things simple, it's actually going to make it easier on us if we create the coin collecting task code first. So let's go into scripts and we'll create a new one. We'll create a C# script and we'll call it coin collect task. And we'll open this up. And we'll go ahead and just delete what's in here already. And I'm going to copy and paste a few variables here and we'll talk about them. So first, we're going to have a public integer called numCoins to collect. And this is going to allow us to control what the target number of coins is that we're trying to collect before we consider all coins to have been collected. This next variable is a Boolean that just says all coins have been collected. It defaults to false. Once we've surpassed this number, we're going to, or met or surpassed it, we're going to say that this is now true. And then finally, we're going to keep track of how many coins have been collected. And that's going to be a private integer, so this won't be visible external to this code. Next, we're going to create a function, and I'll actually just type this out. Public void coin collected. And what this is going to do is it's going to update basically all these variables. We're going to have each coin call this function when it is touched. So we're going to set the value of num coins collected to, we'll basically increment it. So dot or plus plus, that basically just increments this by 1. So every time a coin is collected, we're increasing that number. And then we want to check if num coins collected is greater than or equal to num coins to collect, then we want to say all coins collected equals true. And that's all we have to do for this task. So this is a really simple task. We're just keeping track of how many coins were collected, and once we get there, we're going to say we've collected them all. So this doesn't have any logic for resetting things. If we wanted to reset things, we would need to add additional code, but that's not really the purpose of this for this little mini game that we're creating now. Next, we want to create the code for the coin itself. And so we're going to create a new script here. So we'll right click, create C# script, and we're going to call this one coin. Then go ahead and open that up. We'll delete what's already here. And we're going to create a new variable, public coin collect task, coin collect task with a lowercase c. So what this is going to allow us to do is specify what coin collection task we're going to be using for this particular coin. So the idea here is each coin sort of knows what task it belongs to, and so we set that ahead of time. And then we're going to add some functionality, private void on trigger enter. And this is a special Unity function that is going to detect when something has entered a trigger collider. I'll explain that a little bit in just a sec. But basically, once this is touched, we need to check if the thing that touched it is the player. So the way we'll do that is if other.compare tag is equal to player, and make sure you do a capital P here because we're going to be matching this precisely. So spell this right because that's important. If we've touched the player is basically what this says at this point. Then we want to say coin collect task dot coin collected. So this is now telling our task that we collected a coin. And in order to prevent this coin from being collected multiple times, we're going to say game object dot set active false. And so this game object is actually allowing us to access the game object that this coin script is connected to, and then set it to inactive. So that's effectively the same as hitting that checkbox on an object. So like here, it sets it to inactive. So we need to do a couple things. And let's do the first thing before we forget. We want to tag this cactus character as the player. And player is one of the default tags that's already in here. So that's why we want to make sure that the capitalization and spelling matches player. So now when we do that check, it'll actually detect that we have collided. And since the capsule collider is on here, it matches up with what the tag is. So that's what's going to collide with any of these coins. Now we need to create some actual coins. So what we'll do is we'll create a new empty, and we'll call this coin. And let's just zero this out. And we'll move it maybe just somewhere in front of the cactus. So it's actually at 0, 0, -4 right now. And we need to add a sphere collider to it. So we will add a component. And if you haven't already typed in collider, do so. And then you should see the option for sphere collider. And now this is halfway on the ground, so we do probably want to lift it up a little bit. And we want to set the radius to 0.25. Okay, so now we have this invisible coin. It also needs to be a trigger. So a trigger means that the character can move through it freely, but it will call that on trigger enter function that we just created when it does so. So anything that enters that trigger will trigger this, and we then test it to see if it's the player. And if it were not a trigger, this would act as like a solid ball, which is not what we want. We also need to add the coin script to it. And we don't have a coin collect task to connect this to yet. So let's go ahead and create that. We're going to create a new empty, and we'll call this coin collect task. And we'll just add on this right here. And it really doesn't matter where this goes in the scene because it doesn't need to move around or anything. If you wanted to zero it out, that's fine. Maybe we'll just keep things clean. And then this is basically now going to test whether we've collected one coin, and then we'll know that all coins have been collected. Now, in order to test this out, let's make this visible. So we're going to go into our meshes folder. We're going to find the coin, and then let's just click and drag it onto this coin object here. And then it should make it a child. Okay, so now we have this coin, this visible coin object. And if we run into it, because we created this trigger here, it should update that coin collect task from this all coins collected being false to true. So let's give this a try. We click play, and we still have this selected, so we'll be able to watch what happens. If we move and touch it, oh, something's missing. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Let's see what we did wrong here. So if we look at this, there are two errors. It's saying that coin line 13 is failing because object reference was not set to an instance of an object. If we double click this, it may even open up the code, but no, maybe not. So line 13 here, this one right here, it's trying to call coin collect task, but it's saying that this was never set. And that's because I forgot to, in the coin here, take this right here and drag it into here. So now this coin knows what coin collect task to use. I'll save my scene again and then click play. And I'll select this coin collect task so we can watch it again. And hopefully, yep, this time the coin disappeared and all coins collected turned to true. Now, if I set this to 2, there's only one coin. So if I collect it, it will disappear, but it's not going to say all coins collected. The cool thing is, now that we've got this coin, we can right click on it and duplicate it. And then maybe I'll just move this like over here. Then I can click play again. And we've got the coin collect task set up to look for 2 coins. So we'll pick one up and then the other one up. And now it says all coins are collected. So the cool thing is now we've got this task that is set to let us know when all the coins have been collected. And we can use this in the future so that we're going to have something where we trigger a door to open, but only in the case that all coins have been collected. So it's going to check to see what the status of this is before it opens up the door. Hey, we really hope you're enjoying the course so far. If you are, make sure to check out the rest of our courses on immersivelimit.com. There's other Unity and Blender related game development stuff that you'll probably be interested in. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.